morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I hope you're all in good health and happy.
Amen.
Okay, I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps on February 19, 1943. And I was 22 years old at the time. San Francisco did not have a Marine recruiting office at that time, so the Navy took care of us. And I went in to enlist, and they put me through a little thing, and I only weighed 107, and the the tonnage was 110 at that time. So I looked at the recruiter. He put my application in the wastebasket. I looked at the recruiter, and so he reached in and he got it, pulled it out, and he says, "I'll tell you what you do. You go out in San Francisco and you eat everything you can get your hands on." And I did that. And if anybody would have offered me something sweet on Monday, I would. Anyway, I weighed 109 and they took me. The physical, emotional, and intelligence tests were given. Being very shy, I was given a sheet and told to undress. I turned around and I looked at the doctor, and he turned me around and gave me a gentle push. So I went in and undressed and got in the sheet. And I passed all the tests, and I returned home, and I told my sister, went to her apartment, and I said, "I'm a Marine. I've enlisted in the Marines. Why did you do that? You call Mama and tell her." So I called Mama, and Mama said, "Mary, sweetheart, why did you do that? You wait till your father hears about this." I was 500 miles away from him, so I didn't have to worry. I waited for my orders for almost a month, and I was in front of my mailbox all the time. I was so anxious to go. Finally, the orders arrived, and I was to go to the Navy boot camp at Hunter College in New York. The Marines did not have a boot camp at that time. However, the Marine officers were there, and we went through a Marine boot camp. The lessons were teaching techniques and Marine history and recognition of all the enemy appliances and ours too. And when we lined up for the shots, there was a line of sailors, pardon me sailors, wherever you are, a line of sailors beside us, and they said, "Oh, you're going to hate these shots. They really hurt. You're going to pass out." The Marines went through without a problem. Guess who passed out? We had a DI, and he was not happy with us. He said, "What on earth have I done to have a thing given to me like a bunch of women?" So when he gave us an order, we fell over each other, and he grabbed his head and turned around, and what did I do to deserve this again? So anyway, we marched we were so good that we marched in the Easter parade down Fifth Avenue, and he marched beside us with a great big grin on his face. A few days before graduating, we were issued our uniforms. They were the heavy serge, hot and itchy. When orders arrived, I was to go to Washington, D.C. in recruiting. That was 1320 G Street North in Washington, D.C. I spent almost a year at this job, and I got kind of tired of dressing up every day, and I was the outside sergeant who set up the recruiting things and stalls. And I also had a radio program, and the first time I lost my breath and almost fainted. And I talked about the Marines. And so I got tired of this, and I asked for a transfer. And the captain said, I can't lose you. And every Monday was transfer day, so he put my transfer in the trash every Monday. So he says, I can't lose you. So finally it arrived. And I was sent to Mojave Air Base in Mojave, California. And what I did there, I taught gun air to fighter pilots. That's teaching them how to shoot down their enemies. I was discharged in 1945, and as all women were, because we were reserves. I have a couple funnies. On the train to New York, most of the first platoon was from San Francisco. On the train to New York, the gals would stand up and say, my name is, but call me. So when it got to me with the name Mary, I never had a nickname. So I says, well, call me Tippy. Where that came from, I'll never know. I went all through the service with that name of Tippy. And when I was discharged, the officer said, Mary, I don't know your name. What is your name? But anyway, when in San Francisco, when there was a alert about a raid or a bombing or something, the whistle, the siren went off. So in New York, we were sitting in our room, and the siren went off. So we all grabbed our blankets and found a place to hide. And we sat in there, and a Navy officer came by, and she says, what are you doing in here? And we said, well, the siren went off. There's going to be an air raid. He shook her head and says, that's the noon whistle. And what the Marines did for me, I'm from a very strict German home, and I didn't participate in any of my high school things or anything. So I was very shy. The Marines got rid of that for me and made me who I am today, and I am very thankful for that. Thank you very much.